Good evening and welcome to Release and Rise. In today's episode, I'm going to discuss how I found myself beyond the mask. Have you ever felt as though you were never quite good enough? Have you ever looked at others and felt something was missing within you? Perhaps you stood on the outside looking in, never fully feeling part of the group, never truly being seen, heard or understood. If so, keep watching. As a child, I had friends, but I often felt that there was something missing from those relationships. My first experiences of love and relationships were awkward and uncertain. I was so eager to please, lacking the confidence and self-esteem and security to say no or to speak up when something didn't feel right for me. By the age of 18, I had become a wife and a mother, and despite having very little life experience, I was lost, following the advice and expectations of others because that's all I knew. I wanted to be loved so deeply that I tried too hard. I settled into the roles that society told me that I should fulfill, but something within me continued to stir. My soul, or perhaps my inner child, was crying out to be heard. Rather than listening, I pushed those feelings further away, and over time I began wearing a mask, a version of myself that I believed others would accept. Eventually that mask became so exhausting, I grew increasingly happy with who I had become. My husband was not a bad person. We had simply grown in different directions. Our values and our beliefs and aspirations no longer aligned. And the impact of this reached far beyond our marriage and affected our children as well. I was young and inexperienced, and instead of creating healthy boundaries, I often tried to buy my children's love. I struggled to communicate when I felt hurt or disappointed. And as my marriage deteriorated, the little communication that was left was replaced with anger, frustration, guilt and shame. When the marriage finally ended, I spent the next 2 years living out my teenage years that I had never truly experienced, much to my mother's concern. I was still desperately searching for love and validation. Eventually, I settled once again and moved with my youngest daughter to begin a new chapter. Life was far from easy. There were challenges, struggles and uncertainty, but despite all, I was happier. Yet I still found it difficult to express my deepest thoughts and feelings. This had consequences for my children. Some felt unloved, some felt confused, and others were frightened about what the future may hold. Meanwhile, I continued searching for the real person behind the mask. I focused on a career and built a strong reputation. Customers appreciated me, and I was respected professionally. Yet despite all that external success, there remained a lingering void that I couldn't explain. I was chasing something I couldn't see. I returned to education in an attempt to fill this emptiness. Time and again, I would create and reach a certain level and then stop myself from progressing any further. Looking back now, I can see that it wasn't a lack of ability that held me back. It was a collection of limiting beliefs I had carried for the most of my life. Deep down, I didn't believe I was good enough. I constantly compared myself to others and convinced myself that they were more intelligent, more qualified, and somehow more deserving of success than I was. Every achievement was quickly dismissed as luck, timing, or circumstances, rather than actually recognising the effort and resilience and commitment that had brought me there. I qualified as a hypnotherapist, but never pursued practice. I achieved a level 4 in counselling, but never completed the final year. I moved from role to role, searching for fulfilment in places where it could never truly be found, because I was still searching for validation outside myself. Later, I began a coaching qualification, and I was surrounded by teachers and experienced educators. I felt completely out of my depth. Imposter syndrome became my constant companion. Despite being capable, experienced, and deeply committed to helping others, I convinced myself I didn't belong in that room. Instead of stepping forward, I shrank back into self-doubt. It took me years to realise that that voice telling me I wasn't enough simply wasn't the truth. It was simply a story that had repeated for so long that I believed it. The greatest barrier to my growth was never a lack of talent, intelligence, or opportunity. It was the belief that I wasn't worthy of stepping fully into my potential. And then my sister died. Life changed in an instant. I remember visiting her in a funeral home and spending an hour talking to her. Walking into that room was one of the hardest things that I have ever done. My heart felt heavy with disbelief, and part of me still expected her to open her eyes and smile. I sat beside her, holding back tears, and told her how beautiful she was. And I was so grateful for all the memories we had shared. I promised that I would look after those she had left behind. And in that quiet room, surrounded by an overwhelming sense of loss, I felt both heartbreak and an unexpected closeness to her. Unlike the grief I'd experienced with my father and grandfather, this loss was different. The pain ran deeper because she was not only my sister, but also part of my life story. Someone who had known me through so many chapters. Yet somehow, I carried her not through an overwhelming sorrow, but within my heart, where her love and memory remain with me every day. The following 18 months passed in a whirlwind. I had accepted a new job that promised security and an opportunity to rediscover myself. But it never truly delivered. I was working 50 hours a week, still striving to be recognised through achievement. And then I found God again. For me, God is not confined to a church, a building, an institution, or even a single book. God exists in everything. I began researching and reading relentlessly. I immersed myself in books of spirituality, self-discovery, and transformation. Writers such as Eckhart Tolle, Paulo Coelho, and Michael Singer challenged the way I viewed myself and the world around me. Slowly, I began to awaken. I started removing the mask of who I thought I was supposed to be and began embracing who I truly was. The things that I had worried about for so many years gradually lost their power over me. At first, this frightened me. I wondered whether something was wrong. Why could I look at situations with empathy, compassion, sadness, joy or pain, and yet not allow these emotions to dictate my response? Was I disconnecting from life? I felt as though no one else experienced the world this way. And then a friend recommended The Power of Now. Within those pages, I found answers. I realised I'd begun to live more fully in the present moment. My past still belonged to me, but it no longer controlled me through guilt, shame or regret. The future no longer felt like something that I had to fear or chase. Of course, we don't live entirely in the present moment every day. I am human, and life continues to bring challenges and responsibilities and lots of emotions. But learning to return to the present has been transformational. I have discovered that love does not come from external validation. It comes from within. It is soul-led rather than driven by fear, conditioning, or old wounds. The mind and the unconscious had kept me trapped for so many years of stories of hurt, guilt, and shame. Today I continue to learn that I am not a perfect meditator, and I still have to practice becoming more present. Yet I find peace in nature, watching the seasons change and appreciating the simplicity of life. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy a glass of wine and a laugh with friends and dancing when the music calls. My human experience is uniquely mine, just as yours is uniquely yours. Today, as a life coach, I help others uncover their limiting beliefs, their fears, and the protective masks that have shaped their lives for so many years. I know what it's like to question your worth, to battle imposter syndrome, to spend years searching for external validation. I also know that true transformation begins when we challenge those stories and recognise that they were never facts, only beliefs. I have learned that transformation does not happen when we become someone new. It happens when we finally give ourselves permission to be who we were always meant to be. When we reconnect with our true selves, we create a space for confidence, clarity, purpose, and genuine self-acceptance. What I have learned is this: we spend years searching for love, approval, and belonging in other people, careers, achievements, and identities. Yet the peace we seek often begins when we stop running from ourselves. We challenge the beliefs that have kept us small. Remove the mask and learn to be present with who we truly are. The answers we seek are rarely found outside of ourselves. The greatest transformation comes when we stop chasing validation and we start listening to our own inner wisdom. So my mission is to walk alongside others as they take this journey for themselves, because the most powerful destination is coming home to who you truly are. I would now like to invite you in a guided meditation to become the more authentic you. So if you'd like to find a comfortable position where you can relax completely, either sitting like myself or lying down, and allow your hands to rest comfortably and gently close your eyes. I'll give you a few moments to do this. Now take a slow, deep breath in. And exhale. And another deep breath in. And release. One more time. Deep breath in, breathing in calmness, and exhaling tension. As you begin to continue breathing naturally, allow yourself to settle into this moment. There's nowhere else that you need to be. There's nothing else that you need to do. Just this time for yourself. Now, with every breath you take, allow your body to become more comfortable. Notice your feet relaxing, your legs softening, your hips and lower back releasing any unnecessary tension. Allow relaxation to flow upwards through your abdomen and chest, your shoulders becoming loose and heavy, and your arms relaxed. Your hands relax, your neck softens, your jaw unclenches, and all the muscles around your eyes become smooth and calm. Now imagine a gentle wave of relaxation flowing from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Each wave carrying you deeper into comfort, deeper into ease, and deeper into yourself. And as you relax, imagine yourself standing in front of a beautiful mirror. Now this mirror reflects not your appearance, but your inner self. And as you gaze into it, you notice something interesting. You see yourself wearing a mask. Perhaps it is familiar. Perhaps it represents expectations, roles, responsibilities, the image you show the world. Notice this without any judgment. This mask was never your enemy. It served a purpose. And perhaps it helped you belong. Perhaps it helped made you feel safe. Perhaps it protected you when you needed protection. Now take a moment and appreciate that. Thank the mask for everything it has done. And now notice that you are safe. You are stronger than before, wiser than before, and more capable than before. You no longer need to carry every layer that once seemed necessary. And as you continue breathing calmly, imagine gently touching that mask. Notice how light it has become, perhaps lighter than you expected, because much of what held it in place has already begun to dissolve. The fear of judgment, the fear of rejection, the pressure to perform, the need to be someone else. Allow these old burdens to loosen. And as they loosen, the mask becomes easier and easier to remove. No force, no struggle, only readiness, only permission, only freedom. In a moment, you may choose to lift the mask away. Not because anything is wrong with you, but because the real you is ready to be seen, ready to be felt, and ready to live. And when you're ready, imagine gently removing the mask. Slowly, comfortably, and naturally. And as this mask comes away, notice what is revealed behind it. Perhaps confidence, perhaps peace, creativity, kindness, strength. Perhaps something you have always known that was there. Allow yourself to experience whatever appears for you now, as this is your authentic self, the self that exists beyond the roles, beyond the expectations, and beyond the need to prove anything. Take a moment to breathe as your authentic self becomes clearer and clearer, more vivid, more alive. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice how it feels emotionally. Notice the freedom that comes from no longer pretending, no longer shrinking, no longer hiding. Now imagine a warm golden light emerging from within your authentic self. A light that represents truth, integrity, self-respect, and self-acceptance. With every breath, this light grows brighter, expanding through your chest, your shoulders, your arms, and your entire body. It fills every cell with authenticity. And now imagine stepping forward into your future. See yourself through your life as the real you, speaking honestly and respectfully, expressing yourself naturally, trusting your own thoughts, trusting your own feelings, trusting your own wisdom. See yourself in these conversations. Now notice how relaxed and genuine you feel. See yourself making decisions. Notice how easy it is to trust yourself. See yourself around other people and notice how little energy it takes when you no longer need to wear the mask. You are enough exactly as you are. You do not need to earn your worth. You do not need to perform for acceptance. And you do not need to become someone else to deserve belonging. Your authenticity is your strength. Your authenticity is your freedom. Your authenticity is your power. Allow these words to settle deeply into your mind. Now repeat after me. I am safe being myself. I honour who I truly am. I release what no longer serves me. I trust my inner voice. I allow myself to be seen. I allow myself to be more authentic. I am enough. I am worthy. I am real. Now imagine the old mask dissolving completely into the light. No struggle, no resistance, only gratitude for what it once did, an appreciation for the freedom of letting it go. Feel the space that remains. Open, clear, alive. Feel yourself becoming more aligned with your deepest values, more connected with your truth, more at home within yourself. Now take a few moments to really enjoy this feeling. Allow it to imprint itself deeply into your mind and body. Know that this part of you remains available at any time. It's not something you must create. It's something you must remember. Something you return to. Something that is always going to be there for you. Now, in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And with each number, you will return to full awareness, bringing back the sense of authentic confidence and self-connection. 1, beginning to return. 2, bringing energy back into your body. 3, becoming more aware of the room around you. 4, feeling refreshed, clear and grounded. 5, eyes open, fully awake, fully present, carrying the real you forward into the rest of your day. Thank you for listening to my story today. And can I ask you to leave a comment on how this made you feel today, and if you've experienced similar things. If you would like to work with me on a one-to-one basis, there's a link in my bio. And until next time, sending love to you all.